Are you ready
Let's
to
move
take
on
us into
to
the Warriors?
let's do the Warriors. I think we can keep this one pretty short because we've talked about it a lot. It's basically whichever star becomes available. Like if we're talking about free agent targets, they're going to be low-level targets because there's limited money. They're not going to land another star at this point unless there's a trade. So right now it seems like the leading candidate to be a big-name player who is legitimately available is going to be Bradley Beal. If you're the Warriors, you want to capitalize on the win now window while Steph Curry is still playing at this ridiculously high level. We don't know how long that's going to last. We hope it lasts a long time, but we don't know. If that changes and somebody else requests a trade, like whether it's Paul George or someone else entirely, then they should go for whoever that name is.
Yeah. And look, just for their free agents, I have listed Nick Batum, Otto Porter, Andre Iguodala, if his team option by Miami gets declined, just someone who's familiar with their system, and then Alec Burks, because I don't know that you can guarantee you're going to trade for a star, and you need that other shot creator. And Alec Burks, I don't know how many people watched necessarily the Knicks this season all the time, but he hit some mega important shots in fourth quarters for them in crunch time against tough set defenses. So if you can get him at the taxpayers MLE, I think that's a win. So for their trade targets, I almost feel like it's going to be Bradley Beal at this point. And what I ended up on that is you give up, I think, whatever assets it costs you over the next, the 2023 timeline. If they want Wiseman, number 7, number 14, your 2022 pick and a 2023 pick swap, do it. It's when they want assets that go beyond it where it gets iffy. But here's where I think the new level, I almost feel like Beal will end up there. But of the 4 targets that have been mentioned for them or speculated about, Bradley Beal, Zach Levine, Pascal Siakam, and Damian Lillard, how would you rank in terms of who would do the most to elevate their ceiling?
I think that Lillard is number 1. Just because of the sheer level of talent. I don't think that he's necessarily the best fit alongside the Splash Brothers, but what in the world does a defense do against Damian Lillard, Steph Curry, and Klay Thompson, assuming that Klay Thompson returns to even close to his pre-injuries value? It's pure talent for that one. Beyond that, I think that you could safely put Levine last because he's a great player. He would elevate them, but his skill set is similar to Beal's, and Beal is just better. And I think I would fit in Siakam at number 2 because he actually fills in the holes better than the other guys. It's so hard. Though. All of these players would unquestionably elevate the Warriors' championship aspirations. Like, we're splitting hairs regardless and trying to determine how much of it is fit and how much of it is just sheer ability. I think Lillard's ability supersedes everything else. And then the fit with Siakam puts him at number 2. And then I have the other guys in more of a distant 3rd and 4th, again, relatively.
I think if you want to play the Lillard talent card, I get it. He is 4th for me just because they would get flamed on defense if you put Steph Curry and Lillard on the court. And
it also score 180 points a game.
Yeah, but if you could tell me Klay Thompson's going to defend like pre-injury Klay Thompson, maybe I feel better about it. But any Lillard trade is going to end up costing you Wiggins, who became important to your defense. So I'm weighing things like that. I have Beal first because I think he has shown he can carry an offense on his own, but he's also used to playing off the ball more, cutting more so than Damian Lillard. So his fit is better, even though Lillard's the better player, and he's better on defense than Lillard. Zach Levine is 2 for me. I agree with what you said about the Beal thing. The fact that he's younger and could maybe help them serve as a bridge into the next era. I think of the 4 names, he's also probably the least likely to cost you just the whole kit and caboodle. I'm not saying Chicago would give him away if Beal asked for a trade, but I think maybe you get away with, you can maybe build a package where you keep Wiseman and still get Levine. And then I have Siakam 3rd, just because I'm not as crazy as the fit as you on offense with Draymond Green. I just don't know how that works out. No one would score on this team with Draymond Green, Siakam. But you're also, at that point, then you're depleting your wing depth even further because you're giving up Wiggins and Siakam deal.
I think that Golden State just has so much more spacing than Toronto ever has, just through the sheer presence of Steph Curry alone. When Siakam has been slowed down, it's because his moves have been more predictable. You're able to send multiple help defenders to anticipate those spins that instead of to the basket are then into traffic. You can't do that if you're playing him with Golden State's core.
I get it, but I would still prefer the skill sets of Beal and Levine on offense because those are more, they need, yes, the playmaking from Siakam is important, but they need a from scratch shot maker more than they need that defense, in my opinion. And look, maybe I'm wrong because most of these trades, unless they work out a Oubre sign and trade, are going to end up costing you Wiggins. So I'm not saying he's a top tier defender, and that's not why you do the deal, but Wiggins and Clay are your wings right now, and none of the guys we mentioned are wings. Like Bradley Beal comes closest, and he's not like this defensive wing. So that's funny that we said the Warriors are going to be the shortest, and I think they've been the longest team so far.